Long-awaited winners finals matchup between Team PP and TheCup, our 1 seed versus 7 seed. Of course, Team TheCup is going to be Boshiman and Decaton. Team PP is going to be Picapone and Pez, and they've both had some tough journeys to get here. TheCup has been dominant all tournament long, and Team PP taking out the 2 seed and the 6 seed on their way here, so it should be a good matchup. I'm iFlame, joined once again for the second time today by the lovely Dio. How are things going?
Hey, doing all right, man. Yeah, I had some OWC seeding reveal and group draw earlier today together. Talked over each other on a couple of teams there. I'm sure, hopefully not going to happen here, as we have 2 people instead of 4. A little bit hard to quadcast, it turns out. A little bit hard to quadcast, but ready for a good winners finals. I did cast the one other match on this pool that we have had so far, and this pool got some interesting stuff in it. So I think both of these teams are going to have some fun times. I'm looking at the 300 BPM burst free mod 1, the AR0 no mod 2, the CS6 AR9 after DT, DT4, and thinking these may be some early free bans for some of these teams. Specifically the free mod 1, a ban potentially for Decaton Boshiman, or something like the DT2 DT3 as a potential set of bans for them, alongside the no mod 2, the DT4 potential bans for Picapone and Pez, as Decaton Boshi on an AR0 map, specifically Boshi on an AR0 map, looks very, very scary. And of course, Decaton Boshi on, even though it is 263 BPM, CS6 AR9 density DT4, density precision, is really, really scary on that double time 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we're going to get the first protect coming out for Decaton here. I do feel like they have quite a few options for their protects, whereas feels a little bit more linear for Picapone and Pez. They've been speed abusing teams all tournament long, and there's no reason to stop that now. But we've seen Decaton and Boshi playing a lot of the precision, like you mentioned, doing well on that. They're going to ban out that protect that no mod 2, sorry, so they want to play the AR0 map.
Yeah, that's the AR0 map.
Expected.
Yeah, I think a pretty straightforward protect here, and I'm looking at DT2, DT3, or free mod 1 as a protect here for Picapone Pez. Probably the DT2, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
a bit more of a straightforward map. I think DT3 is a little bit cheesable, and if you don't have a true solid warm up on something like that, you might just get combo games by somebody double tapping. It is possible. You will lose a lot of score, but it is possible still to double tap that. Whereas DT2, I think more of, well, it's a real map instead of a long stream practice map. But going to be the Nomad 5 instead, so going the other way into the 210 BPM death stream flow aim, what would have been Nomad 2 in a normal pool. Dada, as always, visionary pooler, put the Nomad 2 in the Nomad 5 slot. Please clap.
Dada does know how to cook. I always clap for Dada pools. They make for interesting matchups at the very least. It's always fun to watch players play AR0 or CS9 or things that are just generally unplayable that nobody practices all that much. But with these protects, of course, that does leave those DT maps along with the free mod one open as a very obvious bans for TheCup and Boshi. And it's going to be the free mod one. They do not want to play that 210 BPM, or sorry, not do, that's the wrong pool. The 300 BPM stamina map. We're not on Grand Finals yet, dude. I keep having to remind myself.
We're not on Grand Finals yet. This is still Winners Finals. This is still Winners Finals iFlame. We're in a different pool. And yeah, that's the 300 BPM burst map. They don't want to play it. Understandable. Hard Rock 3 banned out by TheCup and Pez. I think that's also pretty reasonable. Boshiman Decaton on Windtails, CS 7.15 precision flow aim control is extremely scary. So I think a reasonable ban, despite stuff like the Hidden 2, the DT4 still being available to ban out. I think we're probably just going to see another speed map banned out here by Decaton Boshiman, and potentially the Hidden 2, potentially the Nomad 6, potentially the DT4 banned out by TheCup and Pez.
Just going to be something tapping related. I definitely feel like what do they call the Cup have a lot more options for picks, and so I think it's very important that TheCup and Pez do manage to secure all of their tapping picks, because it seems like they're going to run out of picks just a little bit quicker.
What do you think this match? There's they can technically run out of picks, but there's still a lot of flippable maps in this pool, I believe. Things like the Nomad 1, the Nomad 3 that are, hybrid aim and speed or aim tapping sorts of picks. Things like the Hidden 1, which is very, very straightforward aim map. Things like the DT1, I think, are very flippable. I think there's a lot of more flippable maps. And then, of course, TheCup and Pez, still not bad at things like Illegal Legacy in the Nomad 4. Not bad at Hard Rock Alt either in the Hard Rock 1. Certainly still playable on something like the Hidden 3. And, of course, the Free Mod 2, Free Mod 3, I think, are good for both of these teams. Maybe kind of RNG picks there near the end of the pool. So it's gonna be some fun times later on here. We do see the DT3 banned out for the Cup, which it's the long stream practice map with double time at 225 BPM. I think that ban makes complete sense here, and it does leave up the double time to the Nomad 5 as the kind of pure tapping maps left in the pool. Only those two, really.
Yeah, it is very reasonable. Something like that Nomad 5 does tend to be a lot more manageable for non-speed players, even if it's not necessarily an advantage. Whereas when you're looking at 300 BPM and just raw stream practice, that tends to favor the tapping team a lot more heavily. It is going to be first pick for the Cup. We'll see if they do want to opt into their protected map, or if they want to save that for later. I personally am a fan of saving it for slightly later, but with no second round of bans, anything is reasonable. They're going to go for free mod 3, and we're going to be getting Justice Monster free mod. And both of these teams have really excelled on the free mod. For Team PP, TheCup is an incredibly good hidden player, and Pez is the same for Hard Rock. We've seen a little bit more experimentation from the Cup. We've seen Boshiman take Easy a couple times in the free mod. And I think that is a really valuable skill to have. I don't think we're going to be seeing the Easy on Justice Monster, unfortunately. That would be a little crazy from Bosch, as good as he is on Easy.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Not going to stop me from asking, though.
Yeah, no, but it probably is just going to be a hidden and a hard rock, I think, for both of these players. Hard rock for Decate and hidden for Bashi is likely to happen. I could see double hard rock, honestly, for these two. Definitely a hard rock and a hidden for Pez and Picapone, respectively, as those two players definitely have their preferences on those mods. And we're loading into Justice Monster. I think this is a really good first pick for the Cup, just kind of reading the bans from Pez and Picapone, saying, okay, look, they banned Hard Rock 1, which is Hard Rock Alt, and they banned Hard Rock 3, which is CS 7.15, but is also Hard Rock Alt. They banned 2 alt maps into us, left open the Hidden 2 instead. So instead of first picking the Hidden 2, just pick more alt, which I think is a very good shout for this team. And yeah, you can see their Hard Rock on top for Decate and Pez, hidden on the bottom for Bashi and Picapone.
Yep, very much expected. Cyberoni does make a great point, though. Bashman definitely should have taken the 2 weeks to practice Justice Monster Easy instead of practice for OWC qualifiers. I mean, where are our priorities? It's going to be an early miss for Pez on this one. Good accuracy for Picapone, and this is really just going to be a pretty big consistency test. And both mods are very tricky, as both hidden players now going to be trading a set of misses, as well. So Decate in the last one holding, but honestly, most two players are not too far behind. This is obviously not a massive lead this early on in the map. What's more concerning is that Pez is chain missing like crazy right now, so hoping to see a little bit more consistency throughout the rest of the map, because it doesn't get any easier.
It does not, although it's not like any of this is particularly easy. Even these sorts of patterns can be very, very tough. Bashiman finding a drop on the hidden. It's now Decaton with the lone FC in the lobby. Picapone on a very high AC recovery play with the hidden. Pez recovering combo as well on the hard rock. Into the first KI time we go. And there's finally a miss to come through for Decaton on one of these KI streams. Bashiman misses immediately afterwards. Picapone to follow. It's still a 10k lead for the Cup, but Pez holding on to combo during this PI time might just be a defining factor for this score lead. Brings it over to their side, but finds the chain miss immediately after bringing it back, and now the combos basically completely evened out. A little bit of an advantage for Bashi over Pez, a little bit of an advantage for Picapone over Decate, and the combos basically completely even. Another miss from Bashi to swing it back into the favor of PP, and now score lead slightly in their favor, combo even more in their favor with that miss from Decate, about a cumulative 400 combo lead now for Picapone and Pez. And this is starting to look quite good for them halfway into the map. And the double alt ban in Hard Rock might have just been bait, because these two are looking much... Okay, well, my bad, bro. But they're still at 40k.
Full lobby. Yeah, and it is a full lobby miss. All the misses cancel out. But yeah, if it was bait, it's clearly working, because they're up to 40,000 lead, the biggest score gap we've seen so far this map. But there's still half the map to be played, plenty of time for the Cup to bring this one back, and there are a lot of very tricky patterns. We've seen Decaton get off to a pretty strong start. Does find another miss there, so it's tough time recovery, and there goes the entirety of the Cup's combos. Both players on the side of Team PP hold on to their combos through this really tricky section. Picapone finds a big chain miss, but with Pez still holding, this map just looks better and better for Team PP. They've dropped a lot of accuracy, though. With that chain miss, they did drop about 20,000 points in the lead, so it's looking slightly more dicey with the Decade and recovery, but as long as Pez holds, the Cup don't stand a chance.
Some more of these misses for Bashiman as well, and now Picapone up in combo there for the hidden player. Pez pretty much matching the score from Decaton now and beating it as he continues to hold that slightly higher combo. Now into the last quarter of the map, into the last KI time we go. 65k up for PP, and the Cup needing a fumble here at the end of the map in order to not get breakpointed on their own first pick. Picapone and Bashiman reset the combos, and that's where a lot of that score lead is. 300k now for Picapone, up 60k over Bashiman, and Pez up about 15k over Decaton. Both of them still holding those giant combos on Hard Rock. It's a 70k score lead in total for PP going into the ending here, and I think they're pretty much past the point of no return. Another couple of misses traded out on the bottom of the screen for the two hidden players, but the two Hard Rock players holding strong, and as long as Pez holds, there's no way for the Cup to bring this back. And there's the miss from the Kaiten, and there's the first pick breakpoint for PP on Justice Monster.
Nice and early. That is such a great feeling, especially when you're going into the match as a bit of an underdog, at least in terms of seeding. And they are going to have the next pick, looking to keep this momentum going. There's some tapping banned out, but a fair bit of tapping left in the pool. I'm guessing we're going to see that DT2 first, and then we might end up seeing the No Mod 5 afterwards. Of course, what was their Protect deal? I've already forgotten.
The No Mod 2. No Mod 2,
No
No Mod
2,
5.
okay. Yeah, so
AR0 and an actual No Mod 2.
Yep, those are the ones. So maybe we see them opt into the DT2 first. But I think one way or the other, it's No Mod 5, it's DT2, and then they're going to have to change things up a little.
Yeah, I do feel like maybe just an unlucky run there on the free mod 3, but a very, very good score from both Pez and Kaiten. Pikapone putting up a solid run also. And let's see where they go now. Already won on flow aim in the free mod 3. Maybe you just pick the Protect in the No Mod 5 and go up 2-0 here. Could also start off with the DT2 if you feel a little bit more comfortable just straight picking speed, but I do like the No Mod 5 as a first pick just because I feel like when you're speed abusing, most teams start with the highest BPM and work down in BPM. I feel like the opposite works well if you're trying to make it so that your opponent can't warm up for the lower BPM stuff. Start lower BPM and work up. I haven't seen a lot of teams test this out, but I feel like I kind of want to see it tested out because it could work pretty well. Instead, we're just going to go No Mod 1, which is also about 240 BPM, so can't fault them here. It is kind of speed aim hybrid here for the No Mod 1 / made by Paraoka.
Yeah, definitely not the pick I think either of us were expecting, but still a good pick. I mean, two very strong aim players on his team. It doesn't feel that favored for Pikapone and Pez. I mean, Boschman and Kaiten are two very capable aim players, two very good mechanics players. But evidently, I think I would guess that Team PP feel like they're pretty consistent on this map, and just going based off of previous results as well. Maybe they don't feel quite ready for the speed yet.
Yeah, see if they're getting the warm-up ready to go. But for now, just waiting on Kaiten to join back in for what is a slightly shorter map, 2 minutes 49 seconds on this one. Shorter than the last map, at least. That last one being 4 minutes for Justice Monster. So waiting on Kaiten to join back in, and then getting into just some mixed mechanics, really, with this pick. And I feel like this is kind of this is one of those picks where I feel like it can kind of go either way. I think this is one of the more accessible maps for non-speed teams, at least among the higher BPM picks. So maybe a bit of testing the water here for Pikapone and Pez, seeing how far they can push it, and also not going for your super guaranteed picks immediately. You're already up a breakpoint. You don't need to go for something like the DT2 or the No Mod 5. You can save those for later. And for now, pick something that should still be good for you, but not quite as good on paper as some of those other picks left in the pool. Try and consolidate a breakpoint early and keep your best picks for later. Have your cake and eat it too with this No Mod 1.
Exactly, yeah. If you win the No Mod 1, you still have your best picks afterwards. You can get some really strong momentum going and get a good advantage that way, but it's going to be Pez finding the first miss. So off to a bit of a slow start, but should recover pretty nicely. I don't think accuracy should be a big factor this time around, but it is going to go slightly in favor of Team PP so far, despite the early miss from Pez. And this one definitely a bit of a consistency test as well. Boschman finds the first big miss, I'd say, as Team PP are really going to start to be able to grow this score lead already up to 40,000 points, which is quite a lot for this early on in the map.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, it's a story of comfort here for Picapone and Pez. 99 act for both of them. DeCaton, the best accuracy on the Cup with 97, 98. And Bashiman just not having a good time on the speed map, which is exactly what Picapone and Pez want to have happen on any of their picks. Picapone dropping some accuracy during this part, but DeCaton finds the combo break, and that's now 0 FCs for the Cup. Still the full combo for Picapone, still the reverse choke for Pez with that almost 99 accuracy on the top player. And yeah, this is a very, very convincing win for Pez with the full combo and reverse choke still intact 2/3 of the way and a 250k score lead already.
As it turns out, Team PP are absolutely just picking their best map, and that best map is Nomad 1. They're winning this one in a pretty dominant fashion. I mean, there's still a third of the map to go, and they're already up by 300,000 points. Both holding these massive combos, especially finally never missed. They're well on their way to doubling the Cup's score if we don't see any big misses. There goes Picapone right towards the ending. We'll see if Pez can bring them to that 2x score difference.
Yeah, very well done from Picapone and Pez. That is a very solid team score on a map that is really, really awkward. 237 BPM for the most part, now into a 280 section here at the end of it. And yeah, everybody's dying a little bit, but definitely Picapone and Bashi having the toughest time with this section. It seems like Pez and DeCaton not too bad, but still finding some breaks here and there. And now we're going to get into a next pick for DeCaton and Bashiman for the Cup. I feel like this point in the match, you want to pick something to stop momentum, to not give Pez and Picapone the chance to take another break point, and start trading picks once again. I'm looking at the Hidden 2, I'm looking at the Nomad 2, and yeah, indeed, they just go for the protected Nomad 2, that AR0 reading pick mapped by Batball. This is an AR0 structural reading map. If you are extremely good at low AR, if you can read easy, if you play easy on a very regular basis, if you have time to practice it in the editor, or if you're just goated, then you can probably play this map pretty decently. If you don't do any of those things, then you're probably just shitting the bed on this. So we'll see how well the practice has gone for PP on this map, as I think the Cup very much expected to dominate this pick.
Yeah, Bashiman absolutely quite goated on these kinds of AR0 maps. So good at easy, low AR hidden, all that thing. DeCaton certainly not too shabby either, but this is definitely your break glass in case of emergency pick, and they're going to shatter that glass to stop the momentum. It's exactly the right strategy, and I don't want to call the map before it's over, but I suspect this one will be just as dominant as our Nomad 1. Curious to see what kind of score Bashi can put up on this one, how much they've practiced. I mean, keep in mind, a lot of these players left over in the tournament are on the USA OC World Cup team. I think everybody except for Picapone is part of OWC, so I suspect most of them have been practicing for OWC qualifiers rather than NADT. But we already see quite a lot of misses. Unsurprisingly, Bashiman is the only one having any fun on this map whatsoever. DeCaton has 27% accuracy DO. Pez and Picapone are doing 22% accuracy better. Sounds like a lot, but they're at 40% and 49% accuracy respectively. I can't speak. This map is Bashi's world, and we are just living in it.
Yeah, vote skip. Anybody ready to go to the next map? I think most of the other people in this match are ready to go to the next map. Give Bashi the point and yeah, move on with our lives. This one's already over. It's been over since they picked it. Really since the Protect came out. As Pez and Picapone said, nah, not worth practicing this one. And understandable. I don't think I would practice this either.
Nope. Look, there's some maps in certain matchups you just know you're going to lose. You know, you could spend 15 hours practicing the map, but there is still Boschman on the other side, and at that point, you're like, you know, let's not waste our time practicing this map. Uh, pick me Nomad 2, and let us lose in peace. And TheCup, they're gonna get this point. Boschman, not is that not quite the FC, but very good score nonetheless. And Bashi has, I believe, something like 6x'd the entire rest of the lobby combined, including his own teammate. I don't think
Yeah.
Decaden practiced this one either, to be honest, and
I
didn't
don't
need to.
think you need to, bro. I don't
No,
think you
no
need to either.
chance.
50K somehow still almost 1v2s the other team anyway. Good
Yep.
score. Good score. Okay. On
This is the peak of North American Osu.
Yeah.
On to the Nomad 5, Nomad 2.
Yeah, onto the actual Nomad 2. Yeah. Yeah, it's Nomad 2 time. Actual Nomad 2 this time around. 210 BPM, Deathstream, Stamina, Flow Aim. You know the map already. Let's go into another very one-sided pick, I think. There's not really going to be, I think, any major chance for Decaden and Bashi to take this. This is just not their kind of map, whereas Pez and Picapone on this sort of thing, quite good still. So I'm looking forward to seeing the scores from Pez and Picapone, and you know what? Maybe Decaden and Bashi will prove me wrong. I know Bashi is actually quite a good flow aim stream player, but I don't know if his stamina extends up to this 210 BPM range. That's my question. Because Bashi actually has some very, very good high spacing, high star rating flow aim stream plays. But the 210 BPM stamina is where I find my questions for this team, not the flow aim.
Yeah, and Bashi does find another miss. Definitely going to be a lot more telling towards the end of the map. I think we could see things stay relatively even for the first maybe half of the map, as it's more about the aim control, stream control, less about that stamina. But I do think 210 BPM should be a little bit more manageable for the Cup than some of the other speed maps in this pool. With that said, VP should still be the heavy favorites coming into this one, and they're looking to do exactly that as they both reach 500 combo, and they're making it look effortless right now. Both incredibly good accuracies. Bashi, like you mentioned, looking really good, not too far behind them. Decaden did just find a big miss, but that's going to be quickly traded back by Pigapone. So PP aren't going to get out to too big of a lead, but they certainly do have a pretty comfortable advantage built up at the moment, and we've got some tough space streams here. That's going to claim Boschman's combos, misses pretty much the entire thing, unfortunately just misaims that, and Decaden's recovery is just not going to be anywhere near enough to match Pez right now. It's up to 90,000 points, and the Cup are going to need to start popping off for the last 3/4 of this map.
Yeah, I mean, you can compare Decaden to Pez, but you can also compare Decaden's score to Picapone's, and Decaden's still about 10k behind Picapone right now. Both members of Picapez beating out both members of the Cup right now. So this is across the board domination for Team PP. And there's a big chain miss for Decaden. There's another couple of misses to come through for Boshiman, and very similarly to the last map in Nomad 2, this Nomad 5 going very one-sidedly in favor of the team that protected it. These teams know their strengths and know their opponent's weaknesses very well, and these protects working out for some very, very one-sided maps. Vote skip, go next, and give the point over to Team PP.
Yeah, it's safe to say these players are very, very familiar with each other. They've played with and against each other countless times. Picapone finally finds the chain miss as well, and Pez, I mean, Pez is just on another level. Pez is so cracked at these kinds of maps, still on mid 99 accuracy when the next best in the lobby is 97 with like 10 misses, and Pez is just on a casual high 99 AC FC, and still going strong in the last quarter of this map.
Yeah, not too much else to say. This guy's just kind of cracked on this map. Maybe he'll finish out the FC. I kind of doubt it just because of how ridiculously difficult this map is. And yeah, there it goes. Especially on a no mod 2, you make one little itty bitty mistake and you just chain miss and drop a bunch of combo and accuracy. So unfortunate there for Pez. Not going to find the FC, but going to double the next best score in the lobby from his own teammate almost. And more than double the best score on the other team. So not too shabby, I would say, for Pez on this score. And for Team PP, they have double their opponent's team score right now. 580k score lead versus 500k team score for the opponents. So, yeah, again, this is a very, very one-sided pick for Pez and Picapone. No two shakes about it. And I think we're going to see a couple of more of these. I'm feeling like we'll probably see the Hidden 2 next for Decayton and Bashi based on how that first reading map went. Or at least we'll see something like it soon. Unless they want to go into that last remaining Hard Rock that were double banned by Pez and Picapone. And then we'll probably see some more speed and tapping for Pez and Picapone.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for that reason, that earlier breakpoint is so massive because these teams clearly have the picks that they're very strong on, and they are dominant on those picks. I think we're just going to see a quick HT2 here. They probably don't need much time to think about it. Picapone is a very solid hidden player. Pez, not known as a hidden rating player, unfortunately for them. And I think we're going to have a few more maps afterwards. We'll see if Bashi can pop off again. They could potentially save the HT2, but I think at this point you don't want to risk any more breakpoints, and you're just picking absolute best map.
Could also see the DT4 again, 263 BPM AR9 after double time. It's a huge density reading test alongside being CS6, a very, very old map style. It's another kind of Bashi carry map, but Decayton I think would also do very, very well on that map. Only problem is the BPM, but I think both Picapone and Pez would prefer not to play that sort of a map. Again, could see the Hard Rock 2 as well, that one remaining Hard Rock map for the Cup, as double bans came through on the other two Hard Rock alt picks for Team PP. And last but certainly not least, probably the Hidden 2 is the best remaining pick in the pool for the Cup. So looking at those three maps at the moment, wouldn't be surprised to see the Nomad 6 with the Hidden 3 as well. Same goes for the Nomad 4, but I think really looking at those three in the middle, and it is just going to be the Hidden 2, what is, I think, on paper, the best remaining pick in the pool for Decayton and Bashiman. In fact, this map was mapped by Bashiman. This was an original for another tournament as well. I'll go ahead and look this up real quick, but yeah, mapped for Mediterranean Cup Draft by Bashiman in 2023. This was their Grand Finals Nomad 7. And here in the Hidden Pool, going to be quite the difficult map, and one that Bashi should know all too well.
Yeah, that's about as good of an advantage as you can get playing your own map in a finals pool. I mean, that's not the grand finals, but look, even if Bashi didn't map the HD2, I don't think PP stood much of a chance on it, so I'm kind of mentally preparing myself for another very one-sided map, and hopefully another Bashi man pop-off.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely feels like it should be another pretty one-sided map as we get into this Hidden 2. I'm looking forward to the point where the last remaining speed map is gone, the last remaining low AR map is gone, and we start to see some closer maps in this matchup. If I can be completely honest with you, we can only dream. Because right now these maps are not all that interesting, if I'm being completely honest. It's
truly the most uninteresting close match. Close in overall match score, not so close in terms of any map whatsoever that's been played so far. But after this, they won't have any more low AR, so they'll have to try something else. There's only one more kind of super speedy map with the DT263, but it is pretty rating intensive, so not necessarily a good pick. So hopefully after this one we get a couple closer maps. For now, it's just going to be early misses traded by Pez and Caden. We're not going to see really a big advantage either way. This map is relatively lengthy, so we're going to have plenty of time to build those combos back up.
Yeah, this is definitely starting out a lot better for Pikapone and Pez, but there goes Pikapone dropping that FC, and now it's Bashiman on the full combo, Pez on the reverse choke recovery, and then of course Decaton out comboing Pikapone, both having broken somewhat more recently. There goes Pez with another break. There goes Decaton as well, matching it, but it's Bashiman on the full combo now. And this is where you can start to see some major score advantage built up for the Cup, as both Pez and Pikapone find another couple of breaks in this first KI time, about halfway into the map now. Bashiman still on the full combo. The score lead now up to 130k very, very quickly, and this situation rapidly getting out of hand for Pikapone and Pez. No combo to be had on their side, and 700 for Bashiman, still on that full combo, 99.5% act, halfway into this Hidden 2. A 230,000 score lead, and climbing very, very quickly for the Cup as we continue to find misses for the 3 remaining players in this lobby. Once again, it's the Bashi show on a low AR map, and not much that anybody can do about it in this lobby.
No, I mean, not much more to add. We've got a whole minute left of this map, and PP are just not showing any signs of life on this one. I think they're already going to be thinking about their next pick. It's finally a miss from Bashi, but Bashi has done way more than enough. It is just such a massive score gap, and I mean, solid score from Pikapone, getting the second best score in the lobby, but yeah, Bashi's going to continue to do Bashi things on anything low AR, and Team PP will, well, maybe they'll pick tapping. If they do, we think they risk going for the DT4? It feels a little bit risky into the Cup.
Yeah, I don't think this DT4 is a pick for Pikapone and Pez.
No.
I think it is a pick for Bashi and Decaton.
Yeah.
So I'm really just expecting the DT2 and potentially something like the Nomad 3 as well, but really the DT2 if you want to go for as guaranteed of a pick as possible. And from there, I think we start to get into every single client freezes at the same time. Okay, there we go.
Mystery. Who could win?
Who is possibly winning this? There we go. 240k for the Cup. Currently 3-2. Now 2 successful picks for the Cup. And PP looking to make it 4 for themselves. And there's the DT2. No surprises whatsoever as we get into the, I think, last truly one-sided super favorable map for either of these teams in the Double Time 2 6 Trillion Years, an Overnight Story by Kano. This is a classic. This is actually a classic set, but super, super burst heavy on this map. It's like if you had Double Time 1, but you just threw bursts everywhere in the map. That's really what's going on in this one, up at about 290 BPM.
Yeah, my question is, how double tappable is the map? I don't think it's very double tappable, but I mean, doesn't necessarily stop you from trying. Yeah, that Nomad 3 is definitely interesting. Obviously, it is a core ship map, so has that speed element, but without it being kind of pure speed focus, definitely has a lot of aim. It's only 217 BPM, which, because I don't think it's like super stamina intensive, should be relatively manageable for Bashi and Decaton. So that map, even it's probably still slightly a Team PP favorite, but should definitely be much closer than any of the other maps we've seen if they do end up going for that pick later on. But we're just waiting for Pikapone to get back into the lobby, and then we can get into TT2.
Let's see how this one goes for a side of Peekapone and Pez. Expecting this to be very one-sided once again as we get into 6 Trillion Years and Overnight Story.
This one relatively short at least, so we don't have to sit through 4 minutes of one-sided map. An early miss from Peekapone. There is early hope for the Cup, and after about 5 seconds, the score lead does flip back over to Team PP as they have an accuracy advantage. Peekapone, I mean, does have pretty similar accuracy to the Cup, but expect that to recover, and Pez is just so good on these tapping maps. There goes to Kaiten now, the first really big miss of this match. Unfortunately, continuing to drop accuracy on Bossman. There goes the combo for Punishment. It is a full reset for the Cup. The one-sidedness begins, Dio, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and I mean, this is expected, right? As we now get into kind of the second half of this map. It's a lot of kind of awkward aim in this map, paired with that high approach rate, paired with that super high BPM burst tapping requirement. Back a little bit low, even for the speed players in this lobby. Peekapone drops down to 92 with that break, but it's still the FC for Pez. It's a 360k score lead. Another break traded between Bocceman and Peekapone to Kaiten, finding a slider break there as well on that longer burst. And it's Pez holding this FC still with 95 AC, almost 96, looking to finish out with the first FC of this match. If I'm not mistaken, I hope he didn't reverse choke this.
Yeah. Hopefully not. I don't believe so. Pez has got spike in the ending, so at this point, FC is looking very possible. We get some Wancho freeze, really just build up the tension, of course. And I think that should be the FC for Pez. Very nice score, very dominating performance. And now we should get a couple more interesting maps. I do still think we are looking at Precision, most likely for the Cup. Hard Rock 2, notably, with those other two Hard Rocks banned out.
Yeah, and now, again, the Hard Rock 2, the DT4, still open here for the Cup, as you said, looking into those Precision maps. Something like the Hidden 3, also not too bad of a shout here. Hidden Tech, I think, something that could work out very well for them. The other options are a little interesting, though. Nomad 4, Nomad 6 potential options for this team. That's a lot of what I see as really the options here. I don't think you want to pick the higher BPM Nomad 3. You want to stay with the tech, the alt, the Floim, the rhythm in the Nomad 4, Nomad 6, Hidden 3 as well. Hard Rock 2 is aim, but it's still precision, which I think is, and it's a little janky, which makes it good for Kaiten and Bashi. A lot of Floim requirement and slider requirement in that map as well. The DT4, of course, is just pure jank. It's 263 BPM, sure, but it's old style, very, very old in general. And AR9 after double time, CS6. So I think those sorts of maps are very good for this team. As for Peekapone and Pez, though, I mean, their options are slimming down as well. You've got Nomad 3, which is still a little bit higher BPM. You got Hidden 1, which is a straightforward hidden aim map in Tome Elegi. You have DT1, of course, and you have the Free Mod 2, just looking at the pure mechanics maps. And so these picks really are starting to slim down a lot. Nomad 6, the pick for the Cup. This is some CS5 alt flow, as well as a little bit of density on the AR9, and some rhythm as well, with some variable rhythm, variable beat snap divisor changes in this map.
Yep, skill set, and of course TheCup have excelled on throughout the tournament. I think this is a very good pick for them. Definitely does feel like Team PP, despite the early breakpoint, are going to start to run out of clearly advantage picks a little bit sooner than TheCup. And while I do think this one should be much closer than previous maps we've seen, definitely it still feels relatively the Cup favorite. So I think it's going to take a pretty big performance from either Pez or Picapone to get a breakpoint here. Another relatively short map. And this is the winners bracket finals. As a reminder, so both of these teams are going to the grand finals. Just a question of which team has to go through the losers bracket of the grand finals and which team is going to be moving directly on to the winners bracket grand finals.
Let's see this Nomad 6 coming out. Good luck, have funds ready for both teams surely. And get into the one of the first maps I think is a little bit more contested that we've seen since the very first pick. First pick, of course, going the way of Pez and Picapone in breakpoint fashion on the I believe it was the Fremont 3. So into more aim control, into more alt here with this super awkward wiggle back and forth flow aim, as well as the 1/6 and 1/8 rhythms in this map. A couple of early breaks coming through for Picapone and Decaton. Overall better accuracy for Pez and Picapone. Another break there for Decaton. Picapone able to hold through that section, and now we start to get a slightly better overall score line put together for the side of Team PP. Another break to come through for Picapone, but the accuracy continuing to work slightly in their favor. The FC's just about matching, but more score for Picapone. Basically the entire score lead right now from that bottom row. Decaton finding another drop, and Picapone holding 4 now brings the score lead slightly back into their favor. But I claim it's a back and forth map right now as these breaks continue to be traded between both teams halfway in, and we've only got a 28,000 score lead for Picapone and Pez.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to this 1v1 on the top of your screen. They've seen the scores now, the pressure is on, and that's when the misses start to come. This is a pretty tough ending to the map. This is a slightly easier rhythmic section, but there is another very tricky one coming up, and this supporting combo is starting to matter. Picapone has the advantage over Decaton. That's given them the 50,000 point lead. Now, mind you, if we see a miss from Pez, Boschman could bring this one back, but more misses from Decaton. Big chain misses. Thinking, actually, there goes Boschman. That is the one player that the Cup couldn't have missing a big chain miss as well, tanking the accuracy, and Pez once again absolutely dominating. And looks like we very well will see a breakpoint for Team VP on the Nomad 6. That's going to put them up 5-2, and the next pick is theirs. They're going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah, this is now a second breakpoint for Team PP, looking to go up to 6-2, looking to get match point with their own pick after this one. Just this breakpoint alone brings them to 5-2. And the bottom row is basically matching, but that top row, Pez, just holding on a little bit longer, bringing an extra 150k over to the side of Team PP. And that is a big break point for Picapone and Pez. And now we get into danger territory for these two teams, as Pez and Picapone looking for a very solid next pick, but honestly, there's not really much in the way of guaranteed picks. You've got a lot of aim left in the pool, Hidden 1, DT1, Free Mod 2, and to some extent Nomad 3 as well. That's the burstiest map left in the pool. Of course, aim in the Hard Rock 2 as well, but I'm not sure they want to pick that. They are going to go with one of those aim mechanics maps in the Free Mod 2, Tyranny by Paraoka and Harunya. mapped by Melon Boy originally for Corsai's closed round of 16 back in, I think it was 2022 or 2023.
It's an impressive memory.
Yeah, this is a tough map, but now we've got, I think, another pretty contested map on our hands. This is going to be a somewhat back and forth map, I feel, decided mostly off of just how consistent these two can be, especially for your Hard Rock players. This map is CS4 AR 9.8, so at only 207 BPM, this is not particularly dense for your hidden players, and common reason and community consensus is that the easiest skill with hidden is just normal, comfortable aim. Now, this is a little awkward, but at this AR, at this density, the hidden's not going to be too tricky for any player taking it. It's the Hard Rock players that are going to have to deal with this being just about 8 stars after the Hard Rock.
Yeah, and so far, Pez has very clearly been up to the task, has been playing so incredibly well all match long, putting up some crazy scores. And so honestly, a really good player to have on the Hard Rock here. Currently one of the best Hard Rock players in the game. And now, because this map is so much more difficult on Hard Rock, could very well be relying on the hidden players to put up the big scores instead. And it's really just going to come down to, can you match your counterpart and hopefully beat your counterpart on your respective mod here. Pez does find the first miss of this match, but this one is a lengthy one. Pez is going to have plenty of time to build that back up. And does find a second miss though.
There's a break to follow for Decaton.
Yeah.
So traded away for both of the Hard Rock players. The hidden players still on the double FC. About a 10-15k score lead for the Cup, though. Another break traded away for Pez. Boshy Man to find the first miss out of the hidden players, though, and now it's Peekabone with an uncontested full combo. How long can you hold, and how much score can you bring over to your side with this uncontested FC? Pez only about 80 combo behind, 70 combo behind Decaton right now. So this is not too big of a combo deficit on the Hard Rocks. And Peekabone able to flex with about 400 extra combo for his team right now on this score on what is basically a no mod 1 here. Pez finding the drop, and now that's a lot of extra combo for Decaton on the Hard Rock. It's a bunch of extra combo for Boshy on the hidden as well. And Peekabone, I mean, this FC sure is doing a ton of work. Never mind. Yes, it is just doing all of the work right now as both Boshyman and Decaton find breaks during this KI time. Pez struggling to put together a combo on this map, but it just doesn't matter. Peekabone, the only combo left on the FC. Everybody breaking during that KI time, and now he truly has free reign over this map.
Yep, just click the circles. Peekabone is doing exactly that. This is such an impressive score already from Peekabone. I mean, I think the other players are giving a pretty good example of just how hard this map is, but Peekabone has been nailing every single jump, up to 900 combo now, and it's a 90,000 point lead. It's yet another full team reset for the Cup. They just cannot build up this combo. Peekabone does get a slider break, which is unfortunate, but the damage has been done because of the length of map. 125,000 point lead is absolutely massive. And I mean, unless we see both Boshy and Decaton FC pretty much the rest of the map, it's going to be Team PP on match point.
And even then, during that section, when Peekabone broke, it was still Pez with the best combo. Did find the break on the streams afterwards, but was still helping to build up a little bit of score at the end of that section. It is a slight combo lead for both Boshy and Decaton now. Coming into the last quarter of the map very soon. It's still a 120,000 score lead for Team PP, but there goes Pez once again, finds another set of breaks there, and this combo lead continues to grow for the Cup. Decaton and Boshy both holding onto these combos. Capone is also holding, but he's behind by about 100 combo compared to both of them, and so this score lead continues to go down, now under 100,000, but still in favor of Pez. Can Boshy and Decaton hold long enough? There goes Peekabone and Pez in short order. And now this combo lead, iFlame, is just about 750 cumulative combo. But there goes Boshi Man. Now it's TheCup holding on to a 400 combo lead for the Cup. How long can he hold, and is there enough time? I don't know that there is. We might need to see some chain misses from Peekabone and Pez for this to go back the way of the Cup, but it's starting to pull back even further. TheCup on this Hard Rock is trying to work miracles for the Cup. Pez is priming the audience for some magic right now. Another couple of misses to come through. 45k in favor of Team Pika Pez, but I don't think there's enough time. The end of the map is upon us. And by just 30k, Peekabone and Pez will take that free mod 2 aim pick a lot closer than would be comfortable after that massive pop-off for Peekabone, nearly 1,000 combo. But they do manage to pull it off. TheCup almost pulling it back there at the end of the map on Hard Rock was really something to watch, but just not quite enough. 6-2, the scoreline now in favor of Pez and Peekabone. One more point to send the Cup into the losers bracket.
Yeah, they needed a few more bursts in that ending to bring it over. Was a good effort. Closest map we've seen so far, but regardless of how close the map is, the end result is the same. That's going to be that Team PP is on match point and one map away from securing themselves a spot in the winners bracket grand finals. Of course, the Cup do have the next pick, so this is their chance to bring momentum back. They do still have some precision open. They do have that Hard Rock 2. They could opt for the DT4. Their previous pick, unfortunately, did not work out for them. I think now is the time to commit to precision, and they're going to have to find 2 breakpoints on top of that.
Yeah, they need to pick perfectly, and they need to take some breakpoints afterwards as well. I think it's definitely possible. I mean, you look at how close that free mod 2 was, and I think it's definitely possible they can do it, especially if the next picks for Team PP are things like the Hidden 1 and DT1, or potentially that No Mod 3 as well. I think all of those picks are breakpointable for the Cup, and we go into not the DT4, not the Hard Rock 2, not Precision, but Tech in the No Mod 4, Illegal Legacy by Citrus, mapped by Halgo and Sharu for the US World Cup 2021 Grand Finals, if memory serves. Might be 2020. No, it was 2021. This map is very, very tough in many ways, has a lot of really tricky flow aim sections, has a ton of difficult slider streams, has a ton of difficult slider aim as well. And even if you master the majority of the map, there's a section near the end that combines some really tough flow aim alongside some different finger control and rhythm choices that really can throw a lot of players off. It is the hardest part of the map, so if you master the rest of it, you still have an extra challenge waiting for you about 2/3, 3/4 of the way in that breaks most combos on this pick.
Yeah, it's going to be important to try and build up that lead in the start of the map and then hold on to it. Team PP, they're going to run down that timer and take some a little bit of time to get some practice in on this No Mod 4, at least presumably. Peekabone doesn't seem too happy about the pick, but is now back in the lobby checking on that timer. When you're on match point, do we really need to be practicing No Mod 4 for 30 seconds before the map? Regardless, I think at this stage of the match, especially if the Cup can take this point, it's absolutely plausible that they come back in this match. There are no free picks for either team anymore. They're starting to get a lot closer as a whole. All it takes is a couple unlucky misses from Pez and Peekabone on the next few maps for the Cup to be right back in this one. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. They do still have to win Illegal Legacy first to get to Team PP's next pick. Here we go.
Here we go into the No Mod 4. It's do or die for Boshi and TheCup. Match point for Peekabone and Pez. They just need to win one more pick. They can do it in style with a breakpoint here on No Mod 4, but even if they don't, they've still got 2 chances to close it out cleanly. 2 picks remaining after this. A couple of traded misses for Peekabone and Boshi Man. Pez and TheCup still holding on to the FCs, but there goes Pez with a slider break. Now it's all Decaton for the combo in this lobby. Just a 5,000 score lead in favor of the Cup. Peekabone still holding on to some recovery combo, but finds the miss-aim there, and now it's all Decaton for this lobby. Pez to find a break as well, and with that double reset for Team PP, the Cup with full reign and nearly 800 extra combo, just actually about 700 extra combo here to start building up score very, very quickly, especially with this FC from Decatur.
Another tricky KI coming up, and it feels like Team PP needs to bring this one back here because the ending is not going to be it, but unfortunately it is going to be another miss from the opponent. Decaton still holding strong up 800 combo. Boshyman has a really good recovery as well, 100 combo ahead of Pez. Does find the miss, but as long as Decaton holds, pretty much nothing else matters. They're up to 200,000 points in the lead, and it looks like the Cup will be surviving for at least one more map. This could be the start of the comeback for them. Maybe we'll see a tiebreaker here in the last match of the finals as Decaton just does not miss. We'll see what are the odds Decaton hits this ending. 5%? Less?
He's already gotten through most of the toughest part here.
Yeah,
these
true.
streams and then into the 1/3 jumps, and that's all of the hardest part of the map basically done now. If he can just clutch up the ending, this is an FC on Illegal Legacy and match, which would be a really ridiculous score to have. And there it is. We're just into cooldown now, and that's an FC for Decaton still intact. Please do not choke the extremely easy ending of this map. Surely not. As yeah, there you go, full combo for Decaton. 1v2 performance by him on this map. Extremely good score, and yeah, that's one way to start up a comeback. Had to happen here, and Decaton is going to make sure they can at least start the comeback.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Decaton is going to be pretty pumped up after that one. Hopefully has found some kind of state of a good performance here. Of course, it is Team PP's pick, and I mean, but to be fair, it's mostly aim left in the pool, right? The Cup are a very solid aim team as well. There's no easy picks for Team PP, and they don't really have any like good awkward map picks, I would say, to kind of try and throw the Cup off the rhythm. I think most of the picks they go for are going to be relatively comfortable for the Cup, regardless of who has the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to the free mod too, right? It's a lot of aim left in the pool that presents itself as pickable for Peekabone and Pez. I don't think you want to pick Desert after that. I don't think you want to pick the Hard Rock 2 or the DT4. So you've got the Nomad 3, you've got the Hidden 1, you've got the DT1. Two of those three maps, I think, pick the highest VPM one in the double time one and hope that works out as my strategy here. Because if that super high BPM DT1 doesn't work out, you're left with a couple of coin flips in the Nomad 3 and the Hidden 1, I feel. So I'm not sure if I really like either of those other two, and it is just going to be the double time one for Peekabone and Pez to try to close it out cleanly and not need 2 tries at finishing this match. Dr. Spiel by Alex C featuring Yas. Nightcore mix mapped by Pan. A lot of triples in this map, and this is somewhat fast, but the main draw here, AR 10.4, OD 10.4, 258 BPM aim map at 8.1 stars. And everyone has left the lobby to adjust the high approach rate and change gamma.
That's what I love to see. Now, Team VP did have a very good score on last week's DT1, getting 1.25 million, which was the second best score in the tournament, only behind Wanderio and Swick, which is a really cracked DT team. But they certainly have a track record of pouring on DT1. I think this, of all the maps left, the DT1 just makes the most sense by far. And it's certainly not free, but I do think Team VP is slightly advantaged. Do we really need to be practicing this one? What is this extra 30 seconds of practice doing for us here?
It's making sure my skin is correct, my gamma's correct.
True.
I'm adjusted to high approach rate. I'm good to
Fair
go.
enough. All right, good luck, have fun in chat.
Yeah, good luck, have fun's out. Let's get into the double time one. You're looking at Pez and Picapone here to just close this out cleanly and be done with this match to move on to grand finals, to secure top 2 and winners bracket advantage in that grand finals match, and to knock Decaton and Boshiman down into that losers bracket to face off against Taquito and Rectagon in the losers bracket match. Let's see if Picapone and Pez can do it.
Yeah, that is a terrifying team to face off against in the losers bracket. They only lost to Team PP, coincidentally, in a tiebreaker. That was an absolute banger, but a couple of early misses. It's going to be those top 2 players with an early 1v1. Pez does find the miss, though, in the cup. Are off to an early lead. This is not a super long map, so these early misses absolutely make the difference. And it's such good accuracy for Decaton on 99 still. Now down to 98, but Boshiman, though, dropping a ton of accuracy on this section, and that's just really going to slow the Cup's progress. Thankfully for the Cup, it's not going to matter so much because PP just don't have the combo to keep up right now, especially with an additional miss from Pez, and Decaton, I believe, still holding the SC.
Yeah, that is still full combo for Decaton right now, and Team PP are just dependent on him missing as soon as possible. There goes Boshiman, that's one of them down, but that's not the player you need to miss. That score lead now just holding steady or slightly pulling back towards Team PP, depending on the accuracy, but that is not moving near fast enough for just a quarter of the map left. Huge act drops coming through, though, for Boshiman on this double section, but there's a big miss for Picapone. Huge act drops for both Pez and Picapone, and Decaton still holding through it all, finally finds the drop, but with 95 accuracy, with 720k to his name, almost 1v2s the other team on their own pick. And that is how you keep a comeback rolling. FC on the No Mod 4, an FC on Illegal Legacy into 760k, nearly 1v2 on your opponent's DT1 pick for 2 in a row for the Cup. And what can now truly be called the start of a comeback.
Yeah, it feels like the scariest pick that was left over for Team PP now out of the way. The Cup, I think, are going to have a much easier time with the next 2 maps. They do still have to consider their pick carefully. I mean, they have precision available still. Hard Rock 2, DT4, still open. I mean, it is somewhat telling that they haven't touched those so far in the match, as we would have expected them to pick them a lot earlier. But at this point, you have a track record of being a strong precision team. We know Team PP generally does not like precision all that much. I feel like it must be time, surely.
I mean, they did go for the No Mod 4 last time around. I think the Hidden 3 is actually the pick here. You know Pez is not really a hidden player. You know Decaton is having a really good time on tech right now. Maybe just go for the Hidden 3, and yeah, there it is. Desert by Hakushi Hasegawa on a second Halgo map. If you perform well on Halgo, maybe just pick the second Halgo map in the pool. Thank you, Dada, for pooling 2 Halgo maps, says Team TheCup right now. Very, very happy to pick into that Hidden 3 after seeing what Decaton did on Legal Legacy. See if you can do something illegal on this map too.
Yeah, very possible. And considering Pez has been the kind of best performer for Team PP so far this match, does make a lot of sense just to try and put Pez on something a lot less comfortable, and then you don't have to worry quite so much as is tradition at this point. Team PP, they're going to hop out of the lobby.
See when they get back in here, maybe just readjusting back to normal approach rate is what I would have to guess is what they're doing right now. Maybe they're checking the editor, who knows? But I think at this point, it's not going to help you too much. Just back to normal approach rate as we get into. I mean, this is a slog. This is 4 minutes almost, and pretty tough all the way through. You can hear in this song a lot of the high spacing double with a snap into a very fast slider in this map, as well as a lot of really tough low aim, especially with hidden on. So this is going to be one that requires not only locking in for some of the tough parts, but also a lot of consistency at tech and hidden in general to pull out a really, really good score on.
Because of the map length, as well as just the difficulty of this Hidden 3, it does feel like there is a fair bit of solo carry potential. If you can put up a really high combo, you can absolutely just dominate both players on the other team. And if trends continue, that could very well be TheCup, although this is another very difficult control focus map. And here we go into the Hidden 3 Peekaphone. With the early miss, Pez with a chain miss, and it is still early, it is a long map, but DPP just not looking super comfortable with some of these patterns. TheCup and Bashiman looking relatively strong on the other hand.
And there's another, few misses actually. Many people dropping. Pez, Peekaphone, Bachi all dropping in short order there. And to no one's surprise, it's TheCup on the 99% FC, a quarter of the way into the map, pulling some score over to the side of TheCup. 85k score lead and climbing already just a quarter of the way into the map. We're barely a minute in here, and this is already close to a 100k score lead just off the back of this FC and the act difference for TheCup. Bashiman will find another miss, but even the two combos combined, okay, now is going to be enough to start to pull something back. TheCup finding the miss there, Pez trading it immediately. Peekaphone now holding the highest combo in the lobby by about 300 now, as both players on TheCup finding these misses. And now, iFlame, there's no longer really solo carry potential anymore, right? You have a good score from TheCup at 220k, but it's not so big that it cannot be overcome, especially with this 300 combo advantage for Peekaphone right now. Pez also higher combo than either TheCup or Bachi, just by a little bit, but still helps pull this score lead back now down to just about 60k.
Yeah, it's going over incredibly quickly. This section is much easier combo for Team V to bring this one back, but it's an immediate miss from Peekaphone on that really tough slider. Pez does still have combo, but with the combined combo of Bashi and TheCup, they're going to be right back in lead, and it is a full reset. Pez finds a huge chain miss. TheCup and Bashiman are absolutely nailing this section. Bashiman finally finds the miss, but once again, it is TheCup holding. There goes TheCup as well, but all that hard work that Team PP put in to bring that score lead down to 60k has just been erased in an instant, and it's right back to 90k. Now they have a lot less time to bring this one back. They don't really have the combo advantage either. You know, on a map like this, 200 combo advantage is just not going to cut it. We're going to need to see some big chain misses from TheCup in the ending, but the chain miss comes from Pez instead.
Yeah, and I mean, there's another miss to come through for TheCup actually, but the biggest thing here is still 85k. The combos are pretty even across the board. You need something to change pretty rapidly. You need somebody to lock in on this ending Ki time for Team PP if you want to close this out here, whereas Bashi and TheCup just need to hold. Just need somebody to match whatever the other team is doing, because if you can do that, you're guaranteed the win. This score is still coming back the other way, though, now down to about 65k, 67k, as we move into the ending. Big washing machine stream. Everyone hits it. Nobody finding chain misses anywhere. Everyone still holding going into the very ending here. This is a super volatile part of the map, but everyone is holding. Nobody breaking. Every single player in the lobby just locking in for this ending. And the score lead will go down, but it's not going to be enough. 54k in favor of TheCup. Now 6-5 the score line, up from 6-2, 3 in a row for TheCup and Bashi.
Yeah, let's see if they can make it for Team PP. Has the pick, but the scariest picks from them are out of the pool now. They do have some options. I think we're going to have to see them go back to aim, but and the last two maps have just not worked out for them, and so They're certainly feeling the pressure now, having lost 3 maps in a row. They do still have that No Mod 3, potentially a good option. DT1 no longer available. Could be the HD1 as well.
I think after losing 2 hiddens, I dislike the hidden one a little bit here. Obviously, with the Hard Rock 2 and the DT4 being precision, I don't think you want to pick those. Especially, you know, double banning Hard Rock. Yes, the opponents haven't touched it. Yes, you know, you had a good time on the DT2, but this DT4 is just such a different map. I think the pick is No Mod 3. This is still, you know, higher BPM. It's only 217, but AR10, mostly aim and burst mechanics consistency. But no, instead is just going to be the hidden one. Tome Elegy by Konuko, mapped by Awaken. This is the version that everyone knows. It's not the Skystar farm diff, it's the top diff instead, which was never really farm. It's definitely PP, but certainly not a farm map at basically any point. There's a lot of really, really tough aim throughout this map, but it does still have that diff spike about 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way into the map. So we'll see if anybody is able to hit it. I think if either team has a player hit that diff spike, they probably win the map and either force the tiebreaker for the cup or win the match for Team PP.
Oh yeah, you hit that pattern, you kind of just win the map on the spot, it feels like. Pigapone does have a 4-year-old hidden FC on the map, so we'll see if Pigapone can channel that 4-year-old score and pull off an FC live in match. Would be very impressive.
All right, waiting on TheCup to join back in and then getting into the last pick of this match. Of course, last pick for Pigapone and Pez, hoping to stop this momentum, not give up another break point, not lose 4 in a row, not go to tiebreaker, and instead win their own pick, win the match, guarantee top 2, and move directly to grand finals. Send TheCup and Bashi into the hell that is losers bracket finals versus Taquito and Rectigon. Might just reiterate that the loser of this match has to play Taquito Rectigon in losers bracket finals. So your chances of actually getting back to grand finals don't look super good versus a duo like that. That is a very, very tough matchup, and they do not have to play 2 pools in a row either. So definitely a high stakes map for both of these teams. Pigapone and Pez do not want to play tiebreaker here. TheCup and Bashi do not want to lose this and go to losers bracket. We're in to Tome Elegy by Konuko.
Yep, and only one team will get their wishes. It's all going to come down to the performance on this pick. I mean, can Pigapone repeat the magic, or can TheCup complete most of the comeback and get themselves at the very least to a tiebreaker? Going to be an early miss from TheCup, but players might need a second to settle into the map. This one is plenty lengthy for TheCup, and recently TheCup has put up some really, really strong combos, and it's just going to be an incremental advantage for Team PP early on. Really, the misses shouldn't be too big until we start getting to that 400 combo mark and really into the first guy, which is coming up in just a moment.
Yeah, this is the first part where you're really kind of expecting a miss. This is much more, can you handle the pressure of the first KI time coming up, the first difficult part of the map. This reverse choke for TheCup, giving a little bit of score over to Pigapone and Pez, but everybody holding through the first KI time. And now waiting on that second KI time to start up. Not really anything difficult in this in-between section. If you missed here, you're doing a little bit of trolling, but there is a tough pattern leading into the second KI time. Ball knowers know that there is an accelerating stream going into that second KI time that is a run killer on this map. Let's see if everyone is able to hit it. It's not too bad once you get the hang of it, but there goes Bashi. Finds the break on the accelerating space stream. Now you just have TheCup and Pez holding onto the double FC. Decaton on the reverse choke, and this second KI time, that accelerating stream pattern, as I said, is just a run killer, and it might kill the winner's bracket run here for Decaton and Bashi, man.
Yeah, those combos are just so high now for Team PP. They're absolutely... There goes Decaton, and with that, I think that is going to spell the end for the Cup. It is a double miss, but with no combos really on the side of the Cup, 260,000 point deficit to make up. Unless we see a complete meltdown from TheCup and Pez, they should be able to secure this one. They just need to last another 10-15 seconds and it'll be guaranteed.
Yeah, nah, I think it's over here.
Yeah.
Yes, there's combo advantage for both. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
There is combo advantage for Bashi, but yeah, unfortunately, it's just not nearly enough. 250k is way too big for a measly 390 combo to pull back. Yes, you have combo lead by about 400 right now for Bashi, but it's never going to be enough on this map. Yeah, there's potential for chain misses, and yeah, TheCup looks a little nervous right now. Is finding a lot more misses than reasonably should, given how well he played on that free mod too, but it's still way too big of a buffer here for Team PP. TheCup and Pez, they took down Rectigon and Taquito in tiebreaker in the semi-finals. Actually, no, in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Way back in quarters in September, nearly a month ago now. They took down the third place team, or the other remaining top 3 team in that quarterfinals match. They take down the Cup 7-5, and they take a spot in the top 2 on the winners bracket side of grand finals.
Yeah, Team BP feels like they have been the giant slayers this tournament. They have been, I mean, it's been such an impressive performance from them. I feel like you go into the start of this tournament, you ask 90% of people, and they will tell you, yeah, Rectigon, Taquito, and Decaton Bashi Man going to be the 2 in winners grand finals. But Pez and TheCup have been performing so incredibly well this tournament. And it's not been an easy pass for them, right? It's not like they're a Seed 3 team that have just, won a tough matchup once they get to finals. They've been Seed 7, so they've had to go up against a lot of very, very difficult teams to get here, and they have beaten them every single time. Huge congratulations to them. And of course, as you mentioned now, Decaton and the Botchman are going to be dropping to the losers bracket, where they will have to face Rectigon and Taquito. That match is going to be, I believe it's Wednesday at 2 UTC, so it's going to be Tuesday night for most of us North Americans. Then Grand Finals is going to be 2 UTC Friday, so Thursday night for most of us here in North America. Stay tuned for those matches. It has been a pleasure. One more massive congratulations to TheCup and Pez. Commiserations to Boschman and Decaton. And I wish you all a good night.
See you next time.